Can you believe it? I'm early. What is all that about, hey? Welcome to the live studio, everybody. For those of you that normally grab a cup of tea on the hour and still get here in time, we're going to miss the first part of my show. So big thumbs up there for getting here on time today. I hope you're all well. My name is Tony Darroch and I'm a guest presenter over on Create and Craft, and I love anything to do with colouring, die cutting. The list is endless, and I know that's what you love at home, and that's why you tune in every single day. Has anybody had a storm? We've just had a little bit of a storm, but it hasn't cleared the air. It's really muggy, so I'm pleased to come in the studio and get out of the way. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button, and don't forget the little HD button. That gives you a better viewing experience. And after the live show, don't forget to pop a comment on our video, and that gives us a wider reach. So if you do have the time, if you could do that, that would be brilliant. If you are on Facebook, we do pop the makes onto our Facebook page, and if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see or anything about the project I've done in studio today, you can just pop them below the picture. Let me know your thoughts. Did you like it? Is it something you already do? And if you are not a member of our Eureka fan page, that is also growing really quickly. I think we're up to about 3,000 people now, or 2,000. Is it 2,000? We're not far off hitting that 2,000 mark. So if you're not a member, you do need to be part of that family. It's a beautiful family where people post all of their makes, and you can get some inspiration from lots of other wonderful crafters who are part of the Stamps by Me family. So hi Enid, Maxine, Jackie, Marilyn, Sue. We have some new names on here. Wendy, Gail, Dorothy, Amanda, Roseanne, Maxine, Joe. Wow, there's lots of you. Hi Helen. Lots of you on today, which is brilliant. So as you all know, we will be working with the Enjoy the View stamp. We worked on it yesterday and we did the 2 cards in the background here. If you did miss the show, you just need to go to our YouTube channel, Stamps by Me, and it will show you all of the videos we've been doing for the last 10 weeks using the fabulous Craft Academy stamps. So even if you buy the stamp late, you can still go and get the inspiration and do all the lovely things you want to do with it, as everybody has been doing week on week. There are only a handful left of each now though. So the stamp that we're going to be working on today is this fabulous one here. So this one is Enjoy the View, and it's a beautiful window with a balcony on there. Can we see that there? And you can see how big it is when I turn it over. And then the next one is this one, which is Take a Stroll. Beautiful woodland walk, and it's big. And we can see how big that one is. There we go. And that's the one that we're starting on. So today's Friday, so we'll be back on this one on Monday because we do 3 sessions, and this one will be starting on Tuesday. Okay, so there we go. So that was those 2 lovely stamps. On Monday I will launch the last 2 of the Craft Academy, because I know you want me to do them in 2 so you can save on postage. So you will be seeing the last 2, which are these 2, the last 2. So lovely floral ones on there for you, so you can see. So just food for thought for when we launch these on Monday. Is it something you like? But as always with the Stamps by Me studio, if you don't have the products, you don't need the products. You've probably got thousands and thousands of stamps and dies in your stash that could work and make the same concept or do something very similar. You don't have the products to enjoy this channel. So no, last 2. Oh my gosh, last 2. I've got some other things planned for you all though. It won't be the end of the channel. Don't worry, we've got lots and lots of plans for our lovely YouTube viewers. It's going to be fab. We've got lots going on. It's National Cream Tea Day. Hey, I haven't had, oh, if I'd have known that, I'd have had a cream tea with a scone. That'd have been delicious. But instead I've just had an apple. You know, weighing it up, what? Cream tea all the way, isn't it? So hi Irene, Amanda, Elizabeth. So it's lovely to see you all. So if you are planning on sending in one of your lovely handmade cards for our studio when we do our Craft Academy close-up, should we say, you have about, I would say, to play safe. I know I've said 3 or 4 weeks, but to play safe, if you really do want me to read it out, there is a lot, you see, and a lot of you have written essays. So it's going to be a long studio if I read every single one. So what I'm having to do is I'm just having to prioritise and pick pieces out of people's cards and things like that. And the people that don't want them reading out and they're just happy to show the cards, they will be presented all over in the studio. So is 2 weeks okay? Get them into us, and I'll do my best to accommodate everybody and read out the lovely comments as best we can. There is also going to be a surprise, as you all know, but I'm not telling you anything about it. Tim will kill me if I tell you, so it's a no-no, but it's a lovely surprise for you all. So let's craft. Back to the iPad, Dorothy. Right, so let's craft. So today we're using the lovely Take a View. I keep calling it Take a View. It's Enjoy the View, isn't it? And it's a super huge stamp. So I'm going to show you an alternative way today to use it. So I'm just going to grab my Eureka. If you are crafting along, you're going to need a white top folding note card. It doesn't matter about the size. So this one is 8 by 6. But you can go smaller. I just like the bigger cards, as you know. And then I have a nice piece of white cardstock for a panel here. I'll just grab this one here. And this one's going to sit in the centre here. And as you can see, it just sits in the centre there nicely. And the size of this one is 4 by 6. So how many's crafting along? I need to see how many's crafting along. So again, today I have made 2 cards, one in two different colour waves, because I do like to try and show you different ways of making the cards in alternative colours, because sometimes the colour can completely change your card. So yep, there's a few doing it. Notes, just watching. Okay. When I make my envelopes, what card do you use? I use about 120 GSM up, but don't go probably more than 200, 220, because it becomes too heavy and it's costly to send. So no more than 220. A really good one is the one that I like, because it's got coloured envelope, which you can make coloured envelopes with, is the Linda Chapman card or the Anna Marie card. But as you all know, I am waiting for my cards and envelopes to arrive, and they've got coloured envelopes too, so that's cool. So let's crack on. So I have my window stamp in my Mucky Eureka, and I'm just going to pop a piece of cardstock, the piece that's the panel on the front, into the Eureka. And I'm just going to place my stamp. Now you will see that the cardstock is smaller than the stamp, and there is a reason for that, and I will show you in a second. So first of all, I'm going to place this onto this cardstock. So the window itself is centralised, but it's got an overhang, like so. And then I'm just going to stamp this one out. So let me just have a look here. There we go. So I'll just grab my black ink pad here, and because I'm going to colour it, watercolour it, I'm using the waterproof ink. I'm just inking up this stamp here. So can we have the studio with card makes on a Saturday, please? I probably was going to plan on doing that anyway, because I appreciate some of you have got to work through the week. So it probably will be a Saturday, yes. I hope that's okay. So I'm just giving this a nice push down, get all that lovely detail in there. And then we'll just leave that as is. So as we did yesterday, I'm just going to quickly colour this one with our watercolours. Now I appreciate I did watercolour yesterday, but because people are crafting along, I can't go Blue Peter style and say, here's one I did earlier, because I do appreciate people are crafting along. So I'm just going to lay a little bit of colour on here. I have already done one for the second card, so you'll be able to see in its true form how beautiful it's going to be. But let's just pop a bit of colour on here very, very quickly. So in today's show, we're going to be using some vellum as well. I'm going to use it in a different way, but I'm going to be using this lovely vellum, my favourite vellum, all-time vellum. As you all know, I use it all the time. And it's this one. This one's Claire's Thirsty Brush Vellum, and it's got the beautiful floral patterns on the corners, some in the centres, Just a beautiful soft vellum that'll work with so many, there we go, so many different card makes. We've used it on the stairs for the gents card. So I'm going to be using this piece here with this corner part here. So as I said to you yesterday, if you remember, that if you are working with patterned papers or something with colour, you need to bring all your work into play together so the colours are not going to be fighting with each other. Can we see that here? So we have the colour on the vellum here, and I'm just going to pop my artwork to the side so I can try and keep them within colour, well, not colour family, but so they're not going to be fighting. So I'm not going to use like a bright pink because it will clash. But I'm going to try and get some similar colours on there. So again, I'm going to go with the similar colours to yesterday, and I'm just going to do a sort of greyish wash. So we did this yesterday. Don't think the bride stamp is in stock, to be honest. Is it the one, to whoever is asking that question, is it the one with the long skirt or the short skirt? That would be a help. So I'm just laying this colour down, and as you all know, I always leave white spaces. It just gives an artier feel than really precise, particularly when, you know, we're not watercolour artists anyway. So any hints and tips and little cheats we can get away with to make it look like it's a little bit arty, I'm all over. So I'm just going to pop some colour down here. Remember, it dries back lighter, so do go a little bit dark if you have the courage. And then I'm just going to pick up some of the ochre colour. I did see some makes from yesterday, absolutely gorgeous, and I did see some from the day before. Some of you actually make a card before I've actually been and collected Tom, which is amazing. So absolutely nothing fancy here. You'll have seen me do this lots and lots of times before. Just going to add a little bit of blue into the window. It's such a beautiful stamp, this one, to colour. It's really, really beautiful. So if you are painting along with me, hopefully you're painting as fast as I am. Just put a wash down here just to complete it. And I am using normal cardstock again, so just be mindful how much water you add. Okay, just have a drink. I've got a herb tea today. I'm being very good. So let's get some colour in this bush. Now this is the important part for me. This is where you take the risk of your colours clashing. So I'm just going to do exactly the same as I did yesterday. It's a great cheat technique. Pop your water down into where those foliages are. Pop the water down. I'm being quite quick with this because I appreciate we did this yesterday, but I didn't want to do it ahead of time because I know people do craft along. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of green here from my palette. I'm just going to, again, as we did yesterday, pounce that green into those areas. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a lot of area because we're going to go with some of the pinks that are in this vellum here. So just popping the green here and there. And as you can see, it's not all over today. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of darker green, so less water, same pan in my watercolour palette, just less water so you get more pigment on your work. And don't be scared to pounce your brush where it's not actually in the image, because that gives it a bit of an arty feel too. Okay, and then let's pop some purple in today, hey? So let's mix a bit of purple. So little spots of purple, because there's a nice purple flower in this vellum. And then we're going to pop in a little bit of pink. So we really have got it going on. This is probably these are the sorts of windows we dream of. Well, I certainly do. Absolutely beautiful. So you can absolutely go to town. So let me just quickly fill in this little area here. And there we go. So I'm going to absolutely leave that, and you'll see why in a second, because there is actually more to this card than me just enjoying myself painting those flowers again. So let's just dry this off with our gun. You need to make sure it's absolutely dry for the next technique. So whilst that's hot, I'm just going to quickly pop it under my iPad to flatten it out a little bit. So it'll dry nice and flat, or it'll push it nice and flat for us. So this is where the fun begins with this card. Let's just move that water there. So you need to grab your Eureka. Let me just clean my page. Sorry, not my page, my door, because it's got a lot of black ink on there. So basically, you're just going to grab your card here and the vellum. Now you can see, I just hold it over here, the vellum, I've put myself a border down each side of my vellum. Can we see that there? Sorry about the little marks, I don't know what's gone on there. So you can see it's shorter on the right and it's shorter on the left. And what I've done is I've done it flush at the bottom, but what I've done is I've folded it over like so. And because we're going to adhere it at the back, because I don't want any ugly like tape or glue or anything to show on the front. Okay, so all I've done is I've held it in place like so. And I'll show you on the second card, because I haven't done this ahead of time. I held it in place and then I washed my hand up and then I pushed the vellum over, and it's given me this like little lip here. And this is where we're going to adhere the vellum at the back. Okay, so next stage, let me get my piece of artwork. So this is going to be stuck absolutely flush in the centre of this card here. So I'm going to use some tape because I want it to be absolutely flat if I can. I might use tape and glue. So there's no borders or anything, it's just going to be flat onto this white piece of cardstock here. And I'm also going to add some glue. Yeah, so the card is, I think I said 8 by 6. Yep, Karen, that's right. 8 by 6, thank you, Karen. This is quite a big one. You can reduce the size. I just like the bigger cards at the moment, but obviously you can do them 5 by 7, whatever you've got in your stash, sweetheart. It doesn't have to be the same size as mine. So at the moment, we're just going to stick this absolutely flat in the middle of this card blank here. Okay, so I'm just going to have to stand up, make sure I get it straight and level. Like so. Hopefully that is straight. It looks straight from here. There we go. So what's going to happen here is you can see already where we're going with this card. So when you put your vellum over the top, you get the pretty window come through, okay? You see that there? Just come through there. But we need to enhance it even more, okay? So we need to grab our Eureka. Annette, I will speak to you after show, sweetheart. It's just a little bit long-winded to explain, but I'll call you after the show, sweetheart. So what I've got here is my artwork is in my Eureka. And I'm just going to place the vellum on as if it's stuck, but it's not. Okay. Just going to pop it where I'm happy with it. I'm going to pop it in my Eureka. Like so. I'll hold it in place like that. And what am I doing? I need my stamp. Now I'm just going to make sure this stamp is absolutely clean before I go and pop it on my artwork. So I'm just going to get some tissue and just take off any excess ink that might be floating around on there. Might cause me a problem. And then I'm just going to place this exactly on top of the image underneath. So try and it doesn't matter if it's not lined up absolutely perfect, but try your best, okay? So I'm just going to lean over. Can we see that there? So that's as good as it's going to get. So let's go for it. So I'm going to pick up that stamp and I'm going to use a sticky ink pad. First of all, I'm going to use my anti-static bag. Watch your mucky paw prints. And then we'll use our sticky ink pad. And push it onto that. Try and give it a good old push, get all that detail on there. Yep, we'll go with that. Then you take your artwork out. As you can see, just it's printed on there, look, nice and pretty. Pop this on here, some white embossing powder. Oh, I've got some marks on the rack of my vellum there, I'm going to have to hide that. So you can see there, you get this beautiful image. If you have any loose bits of powder which you don't like, which I can see a few, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my brush in and get rid of them. Try and keep it as tidy as you can. Just give it a little flick, hopefully. Get rid of all those bits that are just hanging on in there. And then we'll heat set this one. And what this is going to do is going to bring our image to the foreground. So our painting and pretty coloured elements of it are going to be in the background, but the foreground is going to be a pretty ornate white picture. So just be mindful. Can you see I've got a little bit of ink on there? I'm now going to have to probably cover that on the back. I might have to put a piece of white card on the back, which is fine. You know, happy accident, should we call it? I don't know. I would have had to hide my makings anyway, wouldn't I? So I'm not being over precious about it. I'm just getting my gun as hot as possible. Now it's really important that you do this when you're working on vellum, because the hotter it is, the quicker it's going to melt it, which means less warp in the vellum. Albeit when you pop it under your iPad or your Eureka, it does flatten out. But you know, just try and... So as soon as you pop it on, come see, just gently tease it through that. I'm doing it as like I'm putting my gun on then off, on then off. So like short, sharp blasts of heat, and this will stop that nasty warp. I will get a little bit of a warp, but you know, like I say, if we pop it under a book, or which is what I'll do when we move on to our next card, it'll be nice and flat when we do the reveal. And then you just need to make sure it's all melted. And then you get like this beautiful, I'll just show you on my hand here, it's just a little easy. There we go. So you get this beautiful white image, and you get this floral embellishment as well in the corner, which is beautiful, which is super cool. So just move my Eureka out of the way. Mind you, I'm not going to close that because it's sticky and it might make a mess. So let's just move it over there. And then let's just bring in our card here. So when you come to lay it over, can we see now? You get the beautiful colour come through. I would probably paint that image under there a little bit darker. My other one is a little bit darker, so you'll be able to see that. So let's just give this piece of vellum here a wipe, and we'll have to hide that, I think. So I'll have to pop a piece of card on the back of mine now to hide that. I was doing so well. So then all you do is you line up your artwork onto the card, and then when you're happy, it's in place. Can we see that there? And push it over, which I already did anyway ahead of time. Turn your art. Oh, look at the state of my card. I'm really going to have to I'm just going to see if I've just got a tape pen, just 1 second. I'm going to have to pop a piece of white card on the back of there, which is okay, we can do that. Let me just see if I've got a tape pen. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll cut a piece of white card, make sure it's straight first before I absolutely commit. I'll cut a piece of white card and cover the back side, and then you'll never know. Make sure it's straight. And then bring it over as... So I'll just cut a piece of white card and hide it, I suppose. So there you have a lovely, pretty picture on top of a coloured picture, look. Now you can pop a sentiment wherever you want. I'm just going to pop it under my iPad to try and get it to go a little bit flat, and then we'll move on to the next one. You could put gems on there, you could put whatever you wanted on there, but it's a really, really pretty card. So whilst that's on there, you can add your sparkle. I would add sparkle to the front, but I'm not going to do it because I'm just going to pop it under my iPad to flatten out. And what we'll do is we'll quickly do the second one, and the second one is going to be a different colour. So just pop that there. Hopefully that will flatten it out. So let's move on to the second one then. So this time we're going to do black and gold, but still with a coloured image behind. So I've got my black piece of card here and my coloured image. Can we see here? So black, and I coloured this one ahead of time. Now this one is a little bit darker than the other one, so this will show whether we need to make sure our images are darker. So I'll just move that out of the way. So let's just pop some tape behind this one. And again, I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue behind as well, just to help me out when I come to stick it down. You could have, but the fear factor for me was it's just normal cardstock. So if it warped and cockled, it wouldn't be on my actual card blank. That's why I always do them separately, because you can heat set them and flatten them out and then stick them on. If you do it on your card blank, it cockles. So that's why I always choose to do them separate, but it is personal preference. And it makes your card a little bit more durable too, if you do it both. So I'm just going to lean over, but again, you couldn't have done this on your black. So it depends on what sort of card you're going for, really. So this one is the brighter one of the two. So hopefully this will show through a little bit better. And then we have the same piece of vellum again. Oh, there we go. Is that better? Look at that, that's better. Way better. So I'm just going to bring my Eureka into play here. Pop my artwork in place. Line up that vellum. Then when I'm happy, I'm going to take, let's anti-static, let's place the stamp first. So again, I'm going to line it up, and this time we're going to do gold. Sorry for the head. So I'll close my door, pick up my stamp, anti-static. Hopefully we get a nice crisp image. It doesn't work all the time, but. And then the sticky ink pad. So you can pop a sentiment, stick a sentiment on the front of the vellum, and that will weight it down and hold it down. But I like the idea of you having the reveal, where you can lift it up and see the coloured image underneath, but it is absolutely personal preference. You will, when you come to do it, you'll probably decide as you're going along what's going to be better for your card. Getting all that detail best I can. And this one's going to be gold. So it'll give you a different look, I suppose. I have no idea how it's going to look, but I think with the black, it will look quite pretty. I'll just give it a flick. And then with a dry brush, I'm just going to get rid of all those bits that are hanging on for dear life. Just get rid of them. And then let's heat set this one and let's see how lovely this one is. So if you haven't got patterned vellum, normal vellum is absolutely perfect. It doesn't have to be patterned. If you've got snowy vellum, you know, with the snow on and things like that, that would look quite cool, wouldn't it? Oh, somebody's Christmas stamps have arrived. Somebody's going to be happy. So again, I'm getting my gun as hot as I possibly can for as long as I've got patience to leave it off. And then I'm just going to blast my gun on so you can see how it quickly changes there. I'm just chasing the powder as quickly as I can. And because it's on vellum, it's going to heat set really, really quickly anyway, because it's super thin. And then you have a beautiful gold image. Can we see that there? There we go. Absolutely gorgeous. So let's put this on this one. Let's just move this aside. So again, just lay it onto your artwork like so. Get it into place. Can we see that there? Get it into place when you're absolutely happy. You could use a bone folder or a score tool, whatever's going to work for you. And then pop some tape behind. Now, like I say, pop some card, pop a piece of card on the back to hide your makings. So line that vellum up. So just try and do it so you can see where I'm going with it, and then line it up when you're absolutely happy it's in place. Hold it in place with my thumb, and then that looks really, and obviously you can lift for the nice card underneath. So there we go. Just going to give that a really nice score. This one's obviously needs flattening, but there's the black one. Let's see if the white one's flattened. It has flattened a little bit, but you can put sparkles, you can gem it up. Move them over. There we go. So you could pop some lovely sentiments on there. You could do sentiment half on the vellum, half on the card, just to hold it down that little bit more. With the white one, I think it could, if I press it down a little bit, you'll see the colour a little bit more, but do have the courage to paint it a little bit darker. If you don't want it dark and you think that's pretty enough, then you can do that, but if you press that one down, you can see the lovely colour underneath. Can we see that there? So all you really need for that one is a stamp, a pretty stamp, some embossing powder, and some lovely watercolours to have a play. I'm going to pop some card on the back of here because, as you can see, you are going to have to hide your makings even if you don't make a mistake. Can you see there? You're still going to have to hide this awful tape. But what a great way to hide it at the back. So make sure you make 2 pieces of card and stick them on, and then nobody will ever know how you've sort of made the makings of it. And I'll get them flat too, and I'll pop a sentiment on there for the picture. But there we go. 2 different cards. 2 different colours, not different cards, 2 different colours, 2 different ways of doing it. But again, both coloured in the same way as yesterday's creations, but Yesterday's was on paper, today's is on vellum. So if you wanted to, I'm just having ideas as we speak, but you could tie a ribbon around here with a nice bow, and that's going to hold your artwork flat so you get that watercolour come through. I like the fluidity of it, and I like the fact that you can lift it and have a look at the watercolour picture underneath, but it is absolutely personal preference. There are no rules, remember that. If you've done something you've created and you absolutely love it, don't change it for anyone. So I will see you all tomorrow at Saturday tomorrow. I will see you all Monday, 1 o'clock, using this stamp for the final time, and then we move on to Take a Stroll. Have a lovely evening, everyone. See you later. Bye.